Hi, I am Anne Marie Moore with Project Present, and I'd love to chat a little bit about nonverbal communication. So Ray Birdwhistle, an American anthropologist, he found that the verbal component of face-to-face conversation is less than 35%, and that over 65% of communication is done non-verbally. So that means over 65% of communication is done without words. And yet we often don't pay attention, as close of attention, to the nonverbal, right? The facial expressions, the tone, the volume, the rate, the posture, the gestures of a person. All of these components communicate enormously, and yet we often just rely on the words. I think as a caregiver, we need to really focus on the nonverbals. When we are caring for someone with Alzheimer's, dementia, or memory loss, language changes. I mean, it can disappear altogether. But now let's remember, we have nonverbal communication, which shares over 65% more than our verbals. So we have a lot to work with. So what we need to focus on is paying attention to these nonverbals in your care partner. We can read those messages that they are sharing and then respond to that. So when language becomes difficult and challenging, we still can respond, validate, and hear what is being shared through the nonverbals. Perhaps your partner is a bit slouched over, which is unusual for this person, and has a frown on their face. Right? You can read that language and say, "You seem sad. I'm sorry that you're feeling that way." And perhaps you use a gentle touch on their arm as a way of showing and soothing or reassuring the person. Another example, maybe the person you're caring for no longer really speaks English, but has their own sort of language that they've created. And maybe they're yelling in this language and they seem to have a very angry face. Well, you might be able to respond to that. "You seem very frustrated. That's tough." Perhaps there might be a comforting sort of touch, perhaps not. But what you're doing is you are showing that you hear, understand, and validate what they're feeling. And that is incredibly powerful. You know, language verbals may disappear, but paying attention to those nonverbals allows communication and connection to continue. So your partner will be able to feel heard, validated, and understood, and that will enable you to have a meaningful connection and understanding with your partner, because you're going to be able to use those 65%, all of those nonverbals. Those will communicate a lot. And it also makes us realize how important it is to think about the nonverbals that we're sharing as well, right? Sometimes our face might be looking differently than what we're saying, or our posture, or our gestures. So I think it's a two-way street, thinking about how we use our own nonverbals to communicate, as well as reading and responding to the nonverbals of our partner. So I'm excited that we have this power, that we are able to use nonverbal communication to continue communicating with the person we're caring for. Thank you so much for watching.